some of the things that I talk to business owners about, like yesterday when I was on the phone with a guy, look, he's doing $50 million and he's grown it from 0 to 50 million. Well, he wants to go to 500 million, but because of the business, he hasn't been able to actually develop bandwidth within the team. He hasn't been able to identify key players that are properly and appropriately aligned with the business opportunity. So he's getting what he feels is the most out of his team, but he's not really getting the most out of the team. Like, the team doesn't want to develop other future leaders because they're all safe right now. The team doesn't really want to put systems and process in place because they have job security right now. The team is comfortable, so therefore they're going to keep the business comfortable, which then handicaps the business owner's ability to grow the business to another level of success. And maybe with that growth, they're going to have to navigate which team players stay on board and which team players go, and what kind of systems, process, procedures, and technologies do they want to deploy into the organization and allow it to go to scaling. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is, how do you get a team that's been with you for a period of time to sit down and understand that for them to succeed, the business needs to succeed at a higher level of success? Well, the way you do that is by aligning their interests with the growth of the business, not by just rewarding them for what the business is doing, but actually sitting down and saying, hey guys, hey team, hey gals, we have done a great job of getting to where we're at today. But the vision for the business to succeed needs to be 10x. So we need to go from 50 million to 500 million. We have to rely on our intrinsic knowledge and experience collectively as a group in order to 10x the business. But we also have to do things that none of us have done before, because we're not talking about doing them now. And in the process of that expansion, first our mind expansion and then our doing expansion, we need to make sure that we're all aligned in where we're going and what the destination is. So you literally need to change the incentives, the long-term incentives, so your team understands we're here, we're comfortable, the opportunity's there, and the mission of the organization is to get there. And here's what's going to be in it for you for helping us grow and expand our competencies, our awareness, our intelligence, our doing. Here are the elements that we need to put in place in order to grow as a team. And here's the consequences for those team members that aren't putting forth the energy, effort, or desire to bring these elements into play. And the elements might be outside consultants to come in and do coaching. It might be a shift in how you're doing business. It might be an innovation within your own organization. What I would do in that case is I would ask the team, I'd say we have two choices. We can stay where we're at, which is not really a choice, or we can grow by 10x. If the team's job was to bring to me a process of which we could leverage within the organization to grow to 10x, what would those recommendations, what would those solutions, what would that look like? Team, I want to give you guys 2 weeks for you to present to me and a few advisors that I've brought on board on how we can 10x our organization. And if we can't come up with any recommendations or suggestions from anybody on the team, then I'm going to look to my outside advisors to help me put a plan together to do it. What that does is it puts your team in a little bit of checkmate to get them to understand that we are growing by 10x. I'm serious, I'm committed, and I'm going to do it as a business owner. It also gives them an opportunity to come to you with the things that they've recognized over the years that could make the business better that you've not incorporated, you've not done. And maybe you've created a culture where don't bring these things to me because I'm comfortable too. And so you have to look, law of mirror, John Maxwell's law of mirror. You got to look in the mirror and see what you're getting back, because it's a direct representation of you. Your culture, your environment, your organization is a reflection of you. You want to change the image in the mirror, you have to do some things differently than you were doing in the past. Then you have to condition your team to follow the leader. And the way you do that is by understanding, first of all the great ideas and concepts and suggestions and recommendations they have. And then a little trick. Go to the layer just below them and ask them to do the same thing. So have a meeting with your executive team and say, here's the deal, 10X, come to me with a plan. And oh, by the way, executive team, I've randomly selected some of our top performers from around the organization, and I'm going to be asking them for their recommendations on how they think we can 10X the business. Because sometimes your second tier people that are maybe even on the bubble of leaving because they don't think you're serious about growing the business have better suggestions or recommendations than the people that you put in charge of them that are comfortable and happy where they're at. So getting a perspective from within the organization, along with you gaining a perspective from your advisors and guidance, whoever you're getting your guidance and advice from, and then having your teams present to you. And if your teams can't present any ideas, that should tell you something about the kind of team you've created.